as well as
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Wow, look at that.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and telemetry nominal.
Hello, everybody. Today marks a historic event of magnificent proportions. Congratulations to Elon Musk and SpaceX for launching the largest Starship ever invented, and all in the time period where Joe Biden, through political biases, refused to invite Elon Musk, literally our modern day Leonardo da Vinci, to an electric vehicle conference. Can you imagine not inviting Elon Musk to an electric vehicle conference? It's like not inviting Kamala Harris to a DEI award celebration, as the honored guest, no less. Check out who was there and watch as fake tappering crew absolutely lose their mind. It's a mind melt extraordinaire as they watch our president, number 47 and 45. Oh, I'm so happy he did it. We did it. Watch as he shows up and greets Elon Musk for the viewing of this, and I'm going to show you his reaction. Watch this.
Look at this shot right now coming in live. We got Musk there. We got, I don't recognize everybody. There's President Trump, Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee, who is also thought to possibly have a position coming in the administration. Senator Ted Cruz on the left with the shades. Is that Ronnie Jackson on the right with the hat? I can't really tell. What do you make of this? They fashion themselves on social media as this legion of superheroes, this incoming administration.
They
Tulsi
are
Gabbard,
superheroes,
Robert
you
F. Kennedy
fake
Jr.,
tapper.
et cetera, et cetera. I guess we're adding pictures and names. I know you now you're looking at me like you mean the Legion of Doom. But
it's the Marvel Universe versus second-rate DC, but that's...
I mean, if I understood what that meant, I would probably have a better opinion about it.
But
if we're talking about
Musk, talk to me about Musk. What do you think about the role he's playing in this administration?
Listen, this is one of the most successful people that the world has ever known, and the ability to build businesses and think outside the box and be an entrepreneur. That's a voice that the president really values. But when you look at this totality, this kind of theme that they all think they're superheroes now, there's a little bit more swagger with the Republican Party now because they did win the White House, the House, and the Senate. You see it in sports now where people are scoring touchdowns and goals and winning matches and doing the Trump dance. There are Republicans who are feeling pretty cool about themselves for the first time in a long time, but they should stop. The guys should all stop doing the dance unless they're athletes.
The dance is a little weird.
Forever envious, forever jealous. They have absolutely nothing to cling on to. They just want to hate. They just want to denigrate. All they want to do is attack. That's all they know how to do. They actually called Trump's dance weird when you've got Tampon Tim doing jazz hands and Kamala Harris acting drunk at every turn and Joe Biden, who can barely get through a press conference without freezing up, stumbling, mumbling, shuffling, stuttering, God knows what else. You're going to call his dance weird. They just can't handle our joy, America. Here's Trump's reaction to the launch. Check this out. Sorry. This is what America is all about. America is all about innovation. America is all about creating the new trail. We are a country of trailblazers, and we should be encouraging these amazing geniuses like Elon Musk instead of attacking him over political biases, which is what Biden has done, Kamala has done, Obama has done. They haven't even yet announced a congratulations to Elon Musk, not just for today's launch, but all the thousands of launches of Starlink satellites, helping millions and millions of people get high-speed internet in otherwise areas that they never would. Never mind all of the victims that Elon Musk helped in when Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene basically decimated the southern eastern United States seaboard, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, you name it. All of these states and cities. It was Starlink that provided the communications link so they can still find safety, find their families, communicate with loved ones. And do you think President Biden or Kamala said anything about that? You think they congratulate? No, they give medals of honor to Dustin Hoffman, to Tom Hanks, to celebrities on Epstein Island and P. Diddy party hangout freak-offs. No, not to Elon Musk. That speaks volumes. For Trump to be there on that day, this guy has literally not slept in probably 2 months. For him to be there on that day, to show his support, sending a strong message to all young kids, boys and girls out there who are destined to change Western civilization as we know it, but they haven't had that proper push, that proper sign of encouragement. This is huge. This is a huge sign that we are back. This is a huge sign that innovation is coming back, that greatness is coming back, trailblazing is coming back. We're leading the efforts across the world to make sure that America stays at the forefront of ingenuity, stays at the forefront of creativity, innovation, and a whole lot of greatness. It is phenomenal. I applaud you. I love you, President Trump. My fellow Americans, this is huge. Okay, I've got a couple more things I want to talk to you about. I'm going to talk about Congressman Nancy Mace, who just filed a resolution to ban biological males from using women's restrooms at the Capitol. I'm also going to talk about Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker saying he's, quote unquote, deeply concerned about Trump's illegal, quote unquote, plan to mass deport criminal illegal aliens. And then lastly, I'm going to share with you this awesome clip of Professor Lichtman getting shoved right down his face, right down his throat, this huge, gigantic L, and how phenomenally, demonstrably wrong he was with his superficial Keyes research or Keyes diagram on predicting presidential elections. Oh, you're going to love this. So here's Governor Pritzker, who's talking about Trump's plan, his border policy. Check out what he says here.
Of course, are deeply concerned about, the president of the United States calling out military inside the United States, where people are peaceful, even if there may be people who are undocumented. But the idea of calling out, the army into the domestic confines of the United States seems uncalled for and may in fact be unconstitutional and illegal.
Okay, so first of all, this is not unconstitutional. It is not illegal. It was you guys, along with your phony-in-chief Kamala and vegetable-in-chief Biden, who allowed 18 plus million people illegally to come into our country. So this is your mess, and President Trump is trying to clean it up. Yeah, he has to issue an executive order. Yeah, he has to call the National Guard because this is a crisis of epic proportions. And no, you're not going to see military men come up with machine guns and point it in the face of families. It's not like that. They're going to be facilitating an orderly deportation with the collaboration of local officials. I'm sure local and community officials are going to really take the lead on this. It's just the military backing them up and making sure things go smoothly. And here's the real crux of this. You Democrats and you radical leftists who are calling this unconstitutional and actually going on the record, Boston, Massachusetts, Mayor Wu really comes to mind here, but there's so many others, saying that you're going to do everything you can to thwart President Trump's border policy deportation. You guys are actually committing treason. There's no other way to say this. The American people voted for this. This is something that President Trump ran on. Promises were made and promises are being kept. You essentially, by denying this deportation and saying that you're going to oppose it, you're essentially committing treason of the highest order, because you're going against the people's voice. You're going against what we voted for. Our voice was heard on November 5th. This is exactly what we wanted. The border immigration policy was one of the top, if not the top issue in the entire election campaign. We're sick and tired of illegal migrants getting in our country, destroying our cities, running amok, causing havoc, causing bedlam, getting free healthcare, free room and board, free food stamp cards, credit cards with $10,000 on them. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. It's your mess, and we're trying to clean it up. You trying to impede this is quite literally a threat to democracy, because democracy spoke on November 5th, and you getting in the way of that is exactly what you guys claimed you were against, calling Donald Trump a fascist, calling him a threat to democracy, calling him garbage, all his supporters garbage, saying he's not around intelligent women and Nazis and God knows how many other abysmal pejoratives. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments. Am I wrong? Am I nuts? Let me know in the comments. I'm open to hear all viewpoints. This is not right, left. To me, this is just deeply American. I would love to get your thoughts. If you have something constructive and critical that actually engages in intelligent thought, I'm all ears. I'm open to listening. Ad hominem personal attacks, links go straight to spam. So leave a comment if you got something to say. Okay, our next story, Representative Nancy Mace has had enough of penises in women's restrooms in Congress around the Capitol, and watch as she torches this ABC reporter who confronts her on this issue and why she's going after this. Check this out.
Here she goes. Here's Congresswoman Mace. Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
It doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
but should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I am not going to stand for it. And the Speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker,
end of story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. And I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Congresswoman, when did...
I really love Congressman Mace's conviction. I was going to say her balls, no pun intended. But she really does have balls. She has courage. She has... real strong feelings about this, and I respect her completely. As a father to a daughter, as a husband to an amazing wife, I agree 100%. I don't think you have any right to be in our daughters, in our wives, in our girlfriends, in our aunts, our grandmothers, change rooms, locker rooms, restrooms, claiming that you're a woman when you're not. Look, I've said this many, many times. Do whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. Call yourself whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. Claim to identify as a gnat. I don't care. That's the beautiful thing about living in a free country. But it's when you want the world to adapt to you rather than you adapting to the world. That's where I've got a problem, and I think most common sense people have a problem as well. I don't want my daughter having to feel threatened, violated for just simply going to a gym and working out. I did a video on this poor woman who was so 100% genuine, saying, hey, I might be wrong, but I feel awful. I walked into my normal gym, my normal locker room, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out on my channel. It's amazing. I'll leave it at the end of this end screen. And she said that the gym said there's nothing we can do about it because she identifies as a woman, even though it was claimed, it was clear as day it was a male. It was clear as day it was a male in every physiognomy way imaginable, from the penis to the chest to the hairy arms and the hairy back, etc., etc. And she just felt unbelievably violated. I don't want that for my daughter. I don't want that for my wife. And I don't think you do either. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Kudos to you, Nancy Mace. Okay, last but not least, this kind of hits home at a special level for me because I am a recovering professor. I don't just call myself professor for kicks and giggles. Most of you guys know this. If you're new, by the way, let me know in the comments. Type new. I would love to hear from you. I love my OG Nez Nation members, but I also love hearing from my new people. Just let me know if you're new. And if you want to throw down where you're joining me from, what city, state, country, I love that too. I love reading the vast areas that our beautiful audience comes from, because I know it's not just Americans who care about everything we talk about. It's Australians, New Zealanders, Africans, Asians, Europeans, South Americans. I mean, we got so many amazing viewers. I just love all of you guys. So let me know in the comments. So I'm a recovering professor. I have talked about the university system being indoctrination camps for ages. I can tell you countless times I've gotten into it with administrators, with admins, with deans, chairs of my universities over these DEI woke ideologies. I fought back many, many times. In some instances, I've been fired. And I was happy to be fired because I was sick and tired of it. And eventually I've gone into full-time media, essentially bringing all my education for free to everybody. And I'm not saying pat me on the back. It's just, it is what it is. This is a glorious clip. I'm not a fan of Young Turks. I'm not a fan of Cenk Unger at all. But this is a beautiful moment which is indicative of the absolute out-of-touchness. I talk about Holly Weird all the time. I talk about the radical left all the time. I talk about the university system. Listen to how Professor Lichtman, who's in the middle there, loses his mind when he gets called out on his ridiculous keys to the election by Cenk Unger. Watch this.
Look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
him
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong. And that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
You
won?
want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make
world
it
of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me. So
Yeah,
quiet
right,
with
right.
your personal
yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever point you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Look,
make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program, I've never been able
books.
to finish a thought.
How many books have you published?
Okay, I have to stop it here. There's about a minute left of this, and I'll play it in just a second. Did you just hear what Professor Lichtman said? He says, oh, I don't know anything. And then his criteria for proving that wrong is, I've only been a professor for 50 years and I've published 14 books. And I think he says, hold on a second.
No, because you're personally attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for personal.
Okay, so he essentially says, I've been a professor for, I'm going to play more. I've been a professor for 50 years and I've published 14 books. How many books have you published? As if that is something to be proud of. You've been a professor, essentially an inoculator of misinformation, spreading the worst ideas because, and I'm not just saying this from firsthand experience, look at the data, look at the results that have come out of these indoctrination camps. We're like the worst in literacy, comprehension, math, I mean, job rates. It's the worst in the history of our country because all they teach is anti-capitalist, anti-American, woke ideologies. They teach pronouns rather than real-world applicable skills to help these young kids get jobs and be employable. And then he says, how many books have you put? Like as if publishing books has something to do with anything. I mean, you listen to their criteria. It is so absurd. The narcissism, the ego, the condescension, the megalomania is unsurpassed. I've used this analogy many, many times. Take the most greedy CEO of the most toxic hedge fund in New York City, and they cannot hold a candle to the ego and hubris of these university professors who are tenured. I'm not talking about the adjunct professors. The adjunct professors, most of them are bad too. I was an adjunct professor, but at least, some of them are trying to do different things. But these tenured professors who are essentially admins, who've never worked a real job in their life, never earned a real penny in their life, who just sit in front of class and spew nonsense day in, day out, year after year, and don't have to worry about results, unlike the rest of the world. I mean, you take any other position, you take any other industry, if you do a poor job, in 6 months, you do a performance review. A year, you do a performance review, an annual review. If you don't come up with the goods, you're out of there. Professors can do whatever they want. They can literally create minions who walk out of these expensive, highly overglorified campuses, saddled with hundreds of $1,000s of debt without knowing a thing about how to be employable, how to contribute, how to participate in a real world society and economy, and nothing happens to them. Listen to this.
Got it wrong.
Say
You were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish a
call me
goddamn thought
stupid.
ever on this show?
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally.
well,
I
you proved
admitted
it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say,
What
it's
kind
great
of
to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
It's lovely to see a
one
Can
post-election
I finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point?
together again.
Hey,
just one
Alan,
right now.
shh. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up for a second? And let someone who knows what
Not
they're doing
if you're
so
gonna
right,
personally
Pierce.
attack
You're
me.
so right.
So-
We're so
Make any
unified right
point
now.
Okay.
you
today.
want.
So-
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against
This
me.
guy
You
loses
don't need
it.
to do that. You don't boost your own
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
What the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make
you
your points.
loser? Okay, can
Make your
can I
points.
just give the correct answer for once?
Tell me that was worth the wait. That was worth the wait if you've been here this long. I love you guys so much. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Don't send your kids to the university, folks. The first time in my life I'm ever saying this. The universities are indoctrination camps. I'm not sending my kids there, not by a long shot. Maybe now that we have some sanity back in America, who knows? Maybe things will change, but it's going to take at least 100 years to change this awful educational system. It's not going to happen in 4, 8, 10, 20. It's going to take 50, 60, 70 years for this corrupt indoctrination camp. Really, it's a philosophy. It's a methodology. It's a parasitic mindset that needs to be eradicated. I would love to get your thoughts on everything we talked about today. Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. If you haven't seen these videos, check them out. I just posted them. Go right now. I'll see you over there. Tap my face, subscribe, and follow. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Go over there now. I'll come hang out with you. See you there.